In Texas and at least 23 other states, Hope Trans trucks have still been on the road. This despite the company being tied to the Terrell crash that killed 5 people. That's based on data from GenLogs, which uses roadway cameras nationwide to track trucking companies.
They were violating laws before the accident, and even today, they're still violating federal regulations.
In fact, 35 safety violations have been logged by Hope Trans and its drivers since the fatal crash on June 28th.
By the FMCSA not shutting them down, to me, it's almost dereliction of duty.
Dale Prax is a trucking safety expert.
Why have they not acted?
You know, that's the $10 million question.
A Department of Transportation spokesperson told us federal regulators had finished up a compliance inspection and issued Hope Trans a proposed unsatisfactory rating on August 18th. From that date, the company has 60 days to submit a plan that the agency accepts. Otherwise, the spokesperson said Hope Trans would be taken out of service and off the road. The statement added that the Federal Motor Carrier Safety Administration, or FMCSA, is committed to holding unsafe carriers accountable to protect American families on our roadways.
They can put an entire company out of business within about 8 hours.
That's right. By law, the Secretary of Transportation can immediately shut down a trucking company. It's called an imminent hazard order, and once issued, it requires a carrier to immediately cease all commercial motor operations.
You don't have to have a complete investigation. You can issue the order, and then within 10 days, the motor carrier can appeal or the driver can appeal.
In the 5 years between 2010 and 2015, regulators issued more than 120 imminent hazard orders to motor carriers. Over the last decade, it's been around 30. In fact, not a single order was issued in 2019 or 2020.
It's used very sparingly.
Is that acceptable?
From a safety expert, absolutely not. It's not being used enough to put bad actors pull their authority and park their trucks.
And why is that?
And why is that? Bureaucracy and politics.
In that Terrell wreck, the driver was cited for 7 violations for driving past federal hour of service limits. He told investigators he fell asleep.
I knew that something like this was going to happen.
Former Hope Trans drivers gave us shipping records they say are altered to mask the number of hours they'd been driving.
They didn't care about rules or laws or violations. They said, don't worry about it. We'll take care of that.
The former driver snapped a photo of his company fuel card. The name on it? B-Zone Logistics.
The B-Zone, I was like, why? What is B-Zone?
Is that normal?
No, it's not. It was a red flag.
And a clue to a bigger industry problem known as a chameleon carrier. At the time of the Terrell crash, Aishat Magomedova was listed as the owner of Hope Trans. Her husband, Sarver Miradov, was tied to B-Zone Logistics and another company, Cardan Trucking, both with troubled safety histories. All 3 companies listed the same Orlando address.
They're morphing from one non-compliant company into another, but the people, the operation behind it remains the same.
Federal inspection records compiled by Blue Wire show a clear pattern. Trucks first ran under Cardan, then B-Zone, and now Hope Trans. 45 trucks showed up with at least 2 of the companies, 11 with all 3.
Your concern is they are going to change their name and become another company.
Absolutely. Are we still letting them do business and develop money to transition into that next chameleon carrier? That's a problem I have.
Back in 2023, Cardan Trucking shut down after federal regulators issued a notice to revoke its license following 2 deadly Iowa crashes. Inspection records show B-Zone drivers repeatedly violated federal hour of service rules. At the end of 2024, the company lost its insurance and could no longer legally operate. Hope Trans has not responded to repeated requests for comment. The company's insurance is set to be canceled October 8th. At that point, it'll no longer be able to legally operate. Until then, it keeps on trucking. Industry experts say it's time for a change, that every trucking company operator should be verified in person, background checked, and issued a government ID to make sure we know who's behind the trucks on the nation's highways. In Dallas, I'm Tanya Isley.